Good evening. I'll be reading a piece called The Princess Discovers Fairy Tales. There exists a land beyond our imagination. She read the first words of the story, and then shut the book with a heavy heart, the sound reverberating in her bones. Sophocles! She wailed the gremlin's name, and the gnarly creature came tumbling out of the branches of the tree she was sitting under. He landed in a crouch by her elbow as elegantly as he could. She was a princess, after all, albeit a pragmatic one. He tried doing a curtsy, but his limbs were meant for climbing, hiding, and running. Besides, the princess tugged on his hand before he could execute one. Sophocles, she repeated, how can I read a book with such a fanciful beginning? Well, it is a fairy tale, he said and grinned, and flashed a row of pointy teeth, courtesy forgotten. The princess didn't seem to mind or notice his tone. Instead, she flicked one of Sophocles' horns on his forehead. They looked like tiny bumps, but Sophocles was extremely proud of them. They only started growing a week ago. The beginning seems condescending, as if implying that the reader hasn't got enough imagination to comprehend it, or at least vague, she continued, accusingly pointing her slender finger at the discarded book. I bet it's dusty not because of age, but because nobody wants to read it. Sophocles scampered across her lap to pick it up, and though it was twice his size and just as thick as his waist, he lifted it with little difficulty and tossed it back into her arms. I may be young, but I did live a few hundred years more than you, he grumbled. The princess stuck her tongue out at him in response. She brushed the dirt off her skirt and knees, her bare feet lying comfortably in the cool grass. The tree cast a pleasant shadow, hiding them from the searing sun, allowing bright rays of light to fall through its branches. Sophocles crawled into the crook of her arm and turned the book back to the first page. Read it again for me, he said. It was his choice at the royal library. The princess was now too heavy to climb the shelves like staircases to reach the older books near the top. The fall was too great to risk even for a book. But Sophocles could reach those volumes easily, though most of the time he was content with sleeping in the light of the glass dome, and to occasionally, when annoyed with her loitering, throw novels at her head. This particularly hot summer day, he climbed onto her shoulder, carrying the book with him. She kept it at hand out of curiosity, and, against the rules, took it outside to enjoy in the garden. She didn't think anybody would mind if it got lost or dirty. Sophocles nudged her to continue. Sometimes beginnings are the hardest part. The gremlin poked her hard in the ribs when she didn't start again. All right, Sophocles, listen. There exists a land beyond our imagination, somewhere far, far away. Thank you.